knows they can be developmentally disabled? Your dog, probably developmentally disabled.
I wonder if dogs that don't chase their tails quietly judge other dogs who do.
Oh.
They just see it and like acknowledge it, like.
But we don't say anything.
Yeah.
Because that's not cool.
Grown-up, human, comic, people! Grown-up, human, comic, people!
You can find us at grownuphumans.com, epicastnetwork.com/grownuphumans. Make sure to rate and review us, please. We would really appreciate it if you did that for us because it helps our visibility on the interwebs. Mm-hmm. And also we promise if you make a request, we will say whatever your review says on the show. So whatever crazy shit you want to hear one of us say or all of us say, doesn't matter. Go ahead and write it up, and we will say that shit. Yeah, you can find us on iTunes, Google Music, Stitcher, Libsyn, Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud at Grown Up Human Comic People, and Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram at Grown Up Humans. Got some plugs. Go to Southside Comics at 1931 East Carson Street. Dan was here for the last episode, but he had to go, so I'll plug that for him. It's a nice comic book shop. You can find all the comics. All the comics we talk about here, you can find there.
And shop online.
And shop online at SouthsideComicsPGH.com. Go to RadicalTrivia.com. See some fucking sweet trivia shows out amongst the bars of Pittsburgh. I will swear at you on a microphone. Promise.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Band stuff?
Yeah. Midnight Rose. Midnight with a K. MIDKNIGHT. You can see us a bunch of places this summer, except for Deutschtown, because, F those guys. But anyway. No, I mean, tentatively. I mean, unless they, change their minds, in which case, whatever. Anyway, so yeah. Coming to a basement party near you. We'll get you real rocked up. I don't know.
Get you
That's
Real rocked
a really
up.
good way to say that.
Yeah, I like that.
Somebody like stumbling out of a party, like, man, I am rocked up. They're just all.
I like that.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah.
You should hashtag
which
that.
in other contexts means I'm gonna get some crack.
Oh,
That's true.
we're very
I'm all
intense.
rocked up. So Greg will smoke crack with you if you book Midnight Rose.
One of our influences is Bobby Brown.
Oh, well. There you go.
We're a multi-sensory sensation.
Our music will make you feel good as fuck for like 20 minutes.
So good it makes you itch.
Then you'll want more. So
Go to metamesh.org.
Yeah.
We provide free public community Wi-Fi for developing neighborhoods. We're getting bigger, but we could use some help right now. We're kind of in a low stage for donations. So we take everything from Bitcoin to dollars to large stacks of money covered in eyeballs and blood.
Yes.
Check out hackpittsburgh.org. It's a great shop. You could get like all the stuff at Tech Shop for like less than a tenth of the price. Cool guys that hang out there. And please, if you need your bottled water, go to Tyler Mountain Spring Water.
Yes. Shout out to Tyler Mountain.
Ask for Doug Hoop, mention the podcast or my name, Becky Zadel, and he'll get you a really nice discount.
Shout out to Doug.
Yep.
Shout
Poodle.
out to Pork Chop. So,
Right?
to,
He's actually been that for Halloween before.
yeah, Chris's brother was Quail Man one year.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's his name. I was trying to figure out who
Quailman.
Doug turned into.
The underwear over
Yeah,
with the belt
yep.
on the head. Mm-hmm.
he also had it was Quail Man and Smash Adams.
Yeah.
No.
What was the Indiana Jones one?
Indiana Jones.
It's,
Oh.
it's shit. Yeah, Quail Man.
Should have.
Race Canyon.
Race Canyon.
Yeah,
That's a great name.
yeah. Oh, he was Waffle Stomper too.
I thought it was Durango Doug.
Yeah, that's a different character.
What's that one? That's
a
another
cowboy
character.
one.
Oh, that's cowboy one.
Yeah. Race Canyon is the right. Is that right?
I don't know.
I think it.
I thought Race Canyon was the one, like the original, like that was his.
What? You think about Race Bannon from Johnny Quest?
No. Oh no, but that's a Venture Brothers reference. Like they called him Race Cannon as a joke.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move.
Sorry.
No.
It's the second episode, so we're
We're all fucked up.
we're all
Yeah.
gone.
So, here we go. I didn't pick any segments for this one, so why don't we start with...
Oh, great.
I've got.
Greg?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can do a real quick fuck 'em and then a hateful haiku.
Okay.
Wow,
Please
you're
do.
angry this week.
Ready.
It's
Yeah.
our birthday
Do the
week.
fuck 'em first, and then we'll say the hateful haiku first.
Okay, right. Okay, here it is. Fuck 'em. Anyone who didn't like Logan, fuck 'em. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. Just kidding. Anyway, no, for real though. Hateful haiku.
We're no longer birthday twins, Greg.
No, we are. We're good. I've been playing
It took me a
enough
second. I
for
was
weeks.
like, oh yeah.
Anyway, no. Hateful haiku. So I might even remember it, but I'll pull it up just in case.
Okay.
Oh
Because I was.
wait, your fucking was a joke?
Yeah, my fucking was totally a joke.
Jerk.
It was just a joke, man. It's cool.
For those of you who haven't heard that episode, Becky didn't care for Logan, and Greg was just telling her to fuck off for that. Yeah.
All right, so
I like that with shots fired. Good.
we'll
We should have more of that, actually. I think we all agree too much on things on this show.
We were talking about. I like when we disagree because
Yeah,
we
no, I
actually
do
have a lot of great discussion comes out of it.
Yeah.
No, I welcome that. In fact, I listened to that episode and I found it enjoyable.
I wish we would disagree harder, and so that sometimes it ends up just like fucking like throwing barbs. At
I was about to say we go to the pit.
yeah, yeah.
Well, hopefully nobody disagrees with this.
Okay.
So, Simon and G-Man would say the same thing to you. Your voice is turd paste.
Is this about the cover of?
Yeah, I heard it on the way
The
here.
Sound of Silence by Disturbed?
You're kidding me. They did a.
Oh, you haven't heard it? Oh my god!
It gets good write-ups, too, which
is-
is crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
It's that.
I don't
Why?
understand that.
It's the okay. So it basically what they did was they played the song exactly the same way, except for there's no second harmony, which is the whole reason
That's
why
the
that
whole
song
reason
is
you
good in the
listen
first
to
place.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like without that harmony there, because it sounds like with the harmony, it sounds kind of like ethereal and like
Yeah.
because those guys like their voices just blend so nicely, but it's literally just like him go, "Hello, darkness, my old friend."
Oh, Jesus.
And it's the same the whole way through. It doesn't change at all.
Does
Like,
he realize that emo shit from the early 2000s isn't
no, because he's in the band called Disturbed.
disturbed?
From
yeah.
whence he's from, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's popular. Like, people like
Yeah,
it.
right.
Because when I watched the video, or he had me watch the video, I was like, there must be some hilarious comments here about what a piece of shit this is. But no, it was all positive.
Yep.
But you understand why that is. It's-
'Cause
you
all
can't trust people. People voted for Donald Trump. They voted for Hitler, and they like Coldplay. You can't trust them.
And Disturbed's cover.
There was a
of
vote
Sound
for
of
Hitler? I don't know.
No, my point is that look what
It's like,
majorities have done. I mean, just
I like how it got increasingly worse that whole time.
Coldplay. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You're like Hitler. I was like, oh, yeah. And then Coldplay, I was like, oh, yeah, people.
Yeah, see.
That's definitely
There's
worse.
a great, if you guys, you're very musically inclined. Have you ever watched, I try to get Greg into it, Never Mind the Buzzcocks, a British show about music.
I've heard
It's
of
like
that
a comedy panel show about music, and they hate Coldplay. Hate. And it's a reoccurring, like, funny joke that just comes up. Like, the only, they have guest hosts, and one of their guest hosts was David Tennant, who loves Coldplay, and they just, they ravaged it.
Oh, man. I would love to watch a bunch of comedians just dig into David Tennant for liking Coldplay.
They tried.
What's where is Coldplay from?
England.
England. Okay.
And he's married to fucking Gwyneth Paltrow. They have a daughter named Apple. That's how fucking pretentious
Well, I think
Chris, what's his name is.
I don't know. I'm thinking
care.
of so many different last names.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad that I don't know it actually.
Really white in the last name.
Yeah, fuck those guys. Anyway, his what was it? I think that they're not a couple anymore.
I don't know.
I
I,
could be
really
wrong
don't
about
care.
this.
I did see her on a magazine cover earlier, like showing off her stomach. So maybe you might be right. Maybe she's like out in the market.
And there's a lot of people pissed. That was a controversial cover because she says being a mother is so hard, and like she was like, I have to get the nanny to do this, and meanwhile, like bunch of single poor women are just want Gwyneth Paltrow dead.
Right, of course.
Yeah, that's pretty shitty to say. I do think that, and I'm probably misremembering this because it was just like those cursory details that fly by me. But I think that she said after they split that she doesn't like Coldplay anyway. Like that was part
Chris
of
Martin.
Chris
Fuck.
Martin, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cheated.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's some really cool people I've met who are from Europe, who like Coldplay, you know, and they like Coldplay, and as a result of being around them and hearing Coldplay at certain times, now Coldplay is anchored in my memory because I didn't like Coldplay
Right.
until I don't know.
Well, think about this. They're from Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying their pop culture is not the same as ours.
It is very different.
They may have never heard or seen some of the things that we've seen.
I mean, that's fair.
Have you ever seen some British pop music?
Oh, God, yeah. You know about Jedward, don't you?
Like, but just in comparison, Coldplay is like fine.
He's absolutely... So
that shit, you're like, what the fuck is this?
They have some of the worst, like, terrible, almost kitschy, like, pop music.
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy.
Jedward is one of the, like, the twin
even
weird...
know that.
Oh, they're terrible. And, you know, just... But it's you'd think it would have died down in the late 90s, 2000s. It's going strong. And Coldplay, in comparison, is okay.
Yeah.
He's right. You're absolutely right.
No, that is true. And I think because in a lot of, like, cultures that have more of a history or tradition than ours, like a lot of that traditional music is still part of the pop music. And when you hear it out of context of like whatever culture that is from, you're like, this is fucking terrible.
Right.
But then, you know, if you ever have the chance to like be around people who are of that culture or in that culture's country and hear it, it takes on like a different context, and it's not so terrible. It's kind of like in a way refreshing because some of this stuff you would be embarrassed to like turn on around people you didn't know. But like over there, it's like they're like, no, this is what we.
Well, and luckily for us in America, we have no history, so we
can
a completely blank slate to just have our own the purest form of bullshit that we can come up with.
Yep.
Yeah, that
There's no traditional. Yeah. There's no traditional like what you're gonna take a fucking Stephen Foster song like that's how old is that, like 200 years old? Ooh.
Yeah.
We
He's
don't
a
have, like, this-
Pittsburgher.
Yeah, we don't have like this long history, or like Aaron Copland. It's okay, that was from like the early 19th century or
think
the early 20th century.
I think you get like it's some like this is going like way. I'm not even sure if this is on the same path of what you're talking about, but like sometimes, like America gets really behind certain things, like supportive behind like the Black Keys, and I was like, oh yeah, they've got some like bluesy riffs, but like why the hell are they on the cover of Rolling Stone or? And that's like taking the like rootsy bluesy thing and just not even stretching it. It's just like what's the word?
Just repeating it in like a modern way.
Yeah, exploiting it
Right.
in
Yeah.
the to the nth degree. And I don't know. I guess if people, it frustrates me that people don't see that, and maybe that's. I mean, there are people I'm glad to hear in England that see Coldplay for the bullshit that it is, and I wish that I ran into more people that saw like Black Keys for the. It's just. I shouldn't say them specifically, but like some of the stuff where it's just like these singers that are like, you know, put the little bluesy twang, and it's like, oh, that's. They've really got their own voice. No, they don't. What are you talking about?
Right.
I understand what you're saying too, Greg, and I think the Black Keys are represented, or they're in that same vein of taking like a music that's traditional for that era and then like doing like a new thing with it and that becoming popular. But what I've seen in like, different places I've been is people like the young people will have a knowledge and an appreciation for the stuff that gave birth to the stuff that's out now. You know, so they'll have songs like these folky type songs from the 20s, the 10s, the turn of the century, whatever. And those are influencing modern music in the way that the traditional blues guys are influencing the Black Keys.
In the same way that Greg doesn't like the Black Keys because he knows the blues probably better
right.
some.
Well, it sounds like Greg doesn't like it because there's a bunch of idiots liking it. Sort of the same way that, you know, with comic book movies, where you have a bunch of people who like the movies but would never read the comics.
Probably a close
where
analogy.
You have a bunch of guys who I love the Black Keys,
Right.
but would never pick up, you know,
Like a Lead Belly album.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
Even earlier,
Wow,
like
you went deep.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I wouldn't pick up a Lead Belly album.
That's good. I'm not sure there are.
Does he
any.
have an album?
There are no.
I'm thinking like probably a closer parallel is like nobody. It's like, oh, you like the Black Keys? If you genuinely like the Black Keys, not because they're on TV and because they're on the radio right now, but if you like the sound of that, maybe you'd like, I don't know, Canned Heat. Oh, you don't?
Right.
Well, fuck you then, because it's like,
That's fair. Yeah.
then I know that you're not doing it for the right reasons.
Right.
to
You
you-
just like these few hooks, these few riffs, like they resonate in your head, and you're like kind of a shallow person.
Or it's prescribed.
Or prescribed. Even
Yeah.
worse, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's more the thing, because I guess that's the thing that I'm not even talking about is the maybe this should have been the fuck 'em. It's like like guys like. It's not that the Black Keys are bad or anything. It's just, like if I saw them at a house show or something, I'd say, okay, cool. I'll grab another beer and like listen to the rest of their set until I'm after I'm done talking to this person.
Right.
And it's totally fine to probably talk to them, shake their hands afterwards. Similar thing to, I'm going to call him out, Gary Clark Jr. So it's a guy who like,
Yeah.
it's for some reason he's on, like the guy's on like the cover of Rolling Stone. He's
Who
played
is he?
at White House. He's some guy who's like, I don't know, about our age, like early 30s, who just like plays a casino into a big muff, doesn't do anything that you or I couldn't do on guitar with a band behind us, and he just gets on there and straps the guitar on and kind of like bobs his head a little bit with his like stupid hat on, and that's about it. But he's good enough to play at the White House, to get on the cover of Rolling Stone, and he's like,
I've actually play at the White House.
Yeah, multiple times
Well, Trump sucks.
I've heard this guy's name spoken alongside the word Hendrix, which is really offensive. So,
Yeah. But you just spilled some of that on your
so just saying that it's like, why asking rhetorically, why give so much attention to this one entity when really I know the answer why. It's just because there's nothing like the people that are in the position of power to put so much attention on this entity don't give a shit about the actual content
matter?
of it. Yeah, content of it, and just they see the ingredients there on the surface, and they're like, oh, this is good enough to write a prescription for people, and they're dumb enough to follow it without doing any other investigation.
It's kind of like being a doctor, where they're like, okay, so we're trying to get some money for the record company. Okay, so what are all these people's ailments? They like a 4/4 beat, and they like 4 chords, and they like kind of a catchy hook, and I'm just going to write this prescription up for that, and that's going to make us the most possible money. So,
And this is the exact thing I was saying last episode about all the Marvel movies that are coming out with all of this, like haha laughs, all the characters are funny now.
Yeah.
Same kind of shit. Yeah, Gary Clark Jr. though, I feel like he's the 2015 the teens version of a Lenny Kravitz, which is pulling on like the Hendrix like kind of I don't know, distortion, and like maybe like when somebody says Hendrix, yes, it's offensive. He's not Hendrix, but that I don't know, whatever filters he's using, however he's playing, like you can be like, oh, I can see you really like Jimi Hendrix as a kid. You're trying to do some of that, but then you also got like this Black Keys. It's just fitted, like the formula is there. You can see how like there's,
Yeah. No, I agree, and I think that the comic book movies is a perfect analogy. I was talking to somebody, I can't remember who, recently, that like over the last 10, 20 years, I guess, the what's it called? The Dave Matthews Band is like the next generation's Hootie and the Blowfish, because it's like that void needs to be filled. I mean, like not that we're talking about good music now or anything. It's just because like those people. If I saw that band at a house party, I would step outside for about half an hour.
wait, Dave Matthews Band?
I'm just saying, like it seems like they're not saying that they sound like Hootie and the Blowfish. I'm just saying that it's that kind of like college crowd that you would expect, like early mid 90s would be like the cool thing to like if you're on campus.
I guess I see what you're saying. I just only because like Dave Matthews and Hootie kind of like overlap in my mind, like as far as
Dave Matthews.
what like their time of popularity is or was. Like Hootie was definitely like ended earlier, but I think Dave Matthews started like
Dave Matthews started in the late 80s in South
Similarly.
Africa.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's really, they were kind of a groundbreaking. He has blacks and whites together in a band from South Africa before apartheid. Like it's a really cool story.
But in fairness, I feel like you can't like Dave Matthews. Well, okay, no.
I used to like.
You can't condemn Coldplay and also really support or defend Dave Matthews.
Well, okay.
Like,
No.
no, come
I
on. They're
disagree.
both like hilarious bands. Like, if you like them, like you're driving down the street, fucking listening to Satellite.
No.
Like it's no less like.
I disagree.
No, Dave Matthews is good for a whole different way of generalizing people.
Yeah.
Because like Dave Matthews Band is the sort of thing where it's the kind of thing that's fine, by like itself is fine. Like what we just I just made this comparison the other day. I forget who I was talking to, but like if a Dave Matthews song comes on, I'm like, okay, whatever, cool, that's fine. It's the people who like that thing that are the worst fucking thing in the world.
Yeah,
Well, I think that's
true.
the same way
That's
with Coldplay. I think Coldplay is embarrassing.
No,
too.
I hate his voice so much.
Yeah, and he's also a douche.
He's just doing like kind of this weird falsetto thing. He's not a good singer really. He's just like he can keep a pitch, but he's not like a strong vocalist.
For me, it's I hate their music just standalone. I used to be a fan of Dave Matthews growing up as a kid, but also Dave Matthews is a pretty cool guy, and especially if you hear the story of where he was brought up and stuff. But also, Chris Martin is a complete douche, and a well-known douche. So he's just like pretentious and cruel, and so that goes into me disliking.
Don't get me
Coldplay.
wrong. Like the majority of like famous or semi-famous musicians I've had like chance to sit down with have disappointed me like greatly. I have walked away wishing I had never talked to them because then I could like enjoy the music still, and it wouldn't take like half a decade for me to get back to like listening to their music. So, like regardless of pieces of shit, great people, whatever.
that wasn't. I mean, that's that was what I was saying.
That was just
wasn't-
my opinion, Jerry.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying. Yeah, all I'm saying, like I can't factor that into
Fair enough.
I just can't factor that in. Like Dave Matthews Band to me is like cargo shorts and Birkenstocks and frisbee.
maybe
but
but also his band is a bunch of really amazing musicians.
Yeah.
too.
yeah, I don't give a fuck.
I mean, they've got a
Like,
violinist and a bass player.
What would you say?
That's not all their music.
Grave digger. Won't you dig my grave?
You're like picking the worst songs
What? Then why do they play the worst songs on the radio?
because people are stupid. They voted for Hitler, Trump, and
why do you
Coldplay.
think the same reason why they play all the
God.
other worst songs on the radio?
That's true.
That's
yeah.
how it works.
And that's what I'm saying. Like even like that wasn't even necessarily an attack on Dave Matthews. It was just an attack on like their place, like the role that they occupy is the same role that Hootie and the Blowfish occupied. Like whether one band might be better than the other by a long shot, but they serve the same function.
Yeah, sure.
As like college
Yeah, I
campus,
concede to that.
Like
Yeah.
oh, you guys like Dave? Sweet. And I can't remember if I talked about this on an episode, but there was about I'll just go as though I didn't, and then if I had, stop me.
Okay.
Anyway, Ben Mossman told me a story.
Yes.
I wasn't there for it. Only he was there, and Derek Toe was there. Do you know Derek Toe?
Of course, yeah, Toad.
Yeah. Toad's kind of a piece of shit, but whatever. But this,
I'm going to write that one down and hashtag it.
but this is still a cool story. This is the only cool thing that I've ever heard about that kid. So they were on Duquesne's campus and just like sitting on the bench, and like Toad had his guitar there, even though he was a saxophone major at the time. And he was just like playing like blues licks and stuff because he practiced guitar all the time. He never showed up to class or studied, but he was like definitely had his guitar in his hands all the time. Anyway,
I like Toad a lot, actually.
but he kind of reminds me of like Kenny.
Oh my
in
god!
in that like without saying like, just because it's like for 5
Sorry.
minutes you're like happy to see him again.
I shouldn't have said that. Nobody who's listening knows who the
Yeah, I
fuck
don't
Toad
know
is
the
or
fuck
who Penny
you're
is or
talking
anybody. So, sorry, continue the story. My
Okay,
bad.
but it's just to make at least you understand how I feel about
Yeah,
Toad. It's kind of
sure.
how yeah.
Okay.
All right, so so they were on a park bench and Toad's like playing these like blues licks and progressions and stuff because he's like really in the guitar. And Ben's just there hanging with him between classes, and nobody cares. Like everybody's walking by. It's a warm day. And I guess like he saw a group of girls coming. He goes, "Hey, watch this!" to Ben. And he starts playing like the beginning of some Dave Matthews song, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And within like 20 seconds, a group of like 3 hot girls walk up to them. Oh God, you love Dave? Oh, I love Dave too. Oh, that's so sweet. We should totally hang out. And gave the kid her number. Handed it to him. They walked away, and then Toad turned to Ben and he was like, "How about that shit?" And then tore it up and threw it in the trash can right then. It's like that is badass.
That's fucking awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you, Toad. Fucking. I hope he's listening. I should tag him in this episode. By the way, I put the subtitle of the episode because I added this little subtitle section
Oh, yeah.
on Libsyn and asked you for it. But the subtitle is Derek Toe is kind of a piece of shit.
As of the last time I saw him, and that was years ago, so who knows? You might be cool now. I don't know. The seeds were there, at least. We know that.
I always liked it. Anyway.
The seeds of
recovering,
shit
Greg.
were planted deep in that one.
The seeds of coolness, like that being an example, were planted deep in the turd of that
his
that is the rest of his.
The seeds.
What was that fucking about in the first place? I'm sorry.
It was about the Disturbed's Sound to Silence.
right.
Yeah. Actually, the antithesis of that story is Mark Johannesburg was like really into ice cream. And he was like, "Oh, I just got this ice cream. I'm really happy. I'm really excited to eat it." And he's like about to take the first bite, and Toad just like reaches his hand out and knocks it to the ground. And runs away. And Mark like chased him for an hour around campus. I didn't see it happen, but I saw him chasing him, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?" Toad hid in the mic closet in the studio until the end of the night, until the building closed.
Wow. Holy shit.
And he went back to the dorm. And like later that night, like in the middle of the night, Jeff Potts told me this part. And he was like, he just like from across the hall, he just heard the door open, and Toad was like, "No!" He just beat the shit out of him.
Shout out to Mark who wrote our theme song.
For beating up Derek Toe.
That's the sort of story that I could tell if I was telling it about like us being in like 9th grade or 8th grade, you know, like, but somehow
People do that in college.
college campus.
Jesus.
Like totally, because. Do you think he was prepared to like hide in a closet for a whole day? When he thought like, I'm gonna knock this motherfucking ice cream out of this dude's hand.
That's the kind of shit I always want to do, though.
Yeah.
Every time I see somebody holding something, they're like, "Oh, this is so good. I just want to hit it out of my hand."
yeah.
He doesn't
You
have
just
that
have to be
filter.
mentally prepared to what the consequences are. It's like,
Right.
Am I willing to waste my whole day on this one joke? And fucking good for him on that.
Well, it's become a good story.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wow.
We talked about this earlier, but Chris, I didn't take a picture of his shirt. Chris had a big just hole right in the shoulder of the seam of his shirt in the previous episode, and I just so badly wanted to just grab it and tear the whole sleeve
Why didn't
off.
you tear it off?
Because I wasn't sure if the hole was big enough to like I wouldn't be a dick if I tore it off, you know, like because if somebody like comes around in a sleeve where half the sleeve is falling off, it's like it's not my fault if I tear the sleeve off. Like that's you
Right.
shouldn't have worn that shirt around people.
Right. You would just have to pull it down and not pull it over.
Right.
'Cause
Just like totally down.
You're
I
strong
could've-
enough to like knock Chris right over. Like if you pulled that hard, you would knock him over, and he would probably break something.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd
but
have to pull it straight down.
Yeah, straight. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I didn't, but I wanted to. That
That would
was
have been great.
another id story. Like, my impulse control. Apparently I have pretty good impulse control because I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have great impulse control. I have never knocked anything out of somebody's hands
Yeah.
that I wanted to.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
maybe I did once or twice. Nothing
Yeah.
memorable, though.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's go to Masked.
Oh.
Yeah, that's we've been spiraling out of control for quite some time now. So, Greg, you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. That's cool. So, Masked is a Titan Comics book. Got this one a little while ago. There's like, I don't know, as I pull it out of the bag, pardon me.
That's what she said.
But, of course, this is written by Serge Lehman, pencils by Stefan Creti, inks by Julian. Thank you, Julian. And colors by
That's it. Last name?
a couple of other.
Huguenot Bear.
Thank you.
His last
Yes.
name.
It was on the tip of my tongue. Just couldn't remember right away. That's all. Anyway, it's just kind of a neat book. I mean, I liked this book. I read this a little while ago, but there's like, I don't know. It sort of spans a couple of different locations, and it's been a little while, honestly.
Take us through it.
Okay, so there's basically...
You should have reviewed, right?
I should have reviewed it, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I didn't know... I read this book a good while ago, and I remember liking it, but then found out yesterday that we were doing this today, and I was like, out. Anyway, so there's near future, I think. I can't remember. It's either modern day or near future.
It's not modern day. It's like Greg didn't read it.
I definitely
turn
did.
into a Greg didn't read it.
But
Greg doesn't remember it. That's the segment.
It's either historical or present or future.
It's future, Greg.
one of these.
You were
okay.
just trying to impress me earlier with your iron trap of a mind. You don't forget anything. And you said this is as close as you're going to get to superpowers to me.
Yeah.
Now you can't remember. You can't remember a book you read a couple weeks ago.
It was like a couple of months ago that we read this book. But anyway, so there's...
But you could tell me what day it was that you seen AC/DC for the first time.
It was August 6, 2000.
See?
Pacific Arena. It was raining that day. So,
All right, now tell me about that book.
okay, so there are some supernatural things happening in this. Some cosmic rock kills some people, but then a Superman kind of guy flies in, and this is turning into Greg didn't read it anyway.
Yeah, totally is.
But look, the point is
The cosmic rock.
the interesting about this though is that there are these things that presumably masked anomalies that are by the namesake. It's like there's some political strife going on, but there's these things that sort of pop up out of nowhere. Like there's a giant thing. They never in issue 1 they don't explain what these things are exactly nor where they come from. But they even by the middle of the book, this is actually the spine of the book. I'm at the midpoint, and they're saying, oh, they pulled a big one out of the river, and it's just this boat-sized thing. But by the end of it, there's some politicians giving a speech, and it turns out that one of these things is an actual being posing as a person with a hat and coat on that just comes out ready to assassinate the guy or kill people.
It looks like
or
a
whatever.
Terminator.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it looks like some kind of being person made of metal bits and parts.
Yeah.
Sort of compiled together. You know what it reminds me of art wise is if anybody has seen Akira, I know at least one person at this table has.
Yeah.
2 people. So Tetsuo, once after his arm gets blown off by Kaneda, and he it's nighttime, and he sort of conjures the debris or whatever to form his arm.
Yeah.
The way his arm looks in that cartoon, in that book, looks like this character is drawn, the entire body of it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think it's cool. They never really explain where this thing comes from or where these things come from, and I'm intrigued. So there.
And Paris is also now the capital of the world.
Yeah.
Paris is
or at
not-
least it's applied, yeah.
And there's also these superhero type things that are coming in to assist, and I think that they're addressing that in this, that these things are coming in to, and they're doing shit for the betterment of humanity. They're intervening to save lives and destroy these things that are trying to kill people. But everybody's talking about them in the same way that Batman's talking. They're existing outside of the law. They're not following, whatever protocols. They're uncontrollable. Which, did you get that too?
I don't remember getting that. May I see that, Greg?
Sure.
From what I remember.
I'll see if I can pull it up.
I don't know. For me, it was more I got way less than that. The weird things popping up. It seemed like that was such an everyday thing in some cases. Where doesn't one of the people who live in the same apartment building? They're like, oh yeah, we just had one. There was one outside earlier.
Yeah, the guy brought it in.
He brought, yeah, somebody just carrying one around. It wasn't like the government didn't come and get it. It was oh, this is just the size of a cat, and they just it was oh yeah, I found this outside, but whatever.
Yeah, but in the opening scene, so when this earth driller that pops up and is going to kill everybody, there's a thing that flies in, and you can see his cape here on the page, that he's the one who destroyed this Earth driller.
Right.
But they report it as, it was these soldiers who destroyed it. And then you hear it referenced somewhere in here where it's like, well, what do you think about these things that are intervening? And he said, they need to be stopped because they're existing outside of the law, or outside of,
One of the things that I didn't like as much about this book is that there's so much dialogue that it's really hard to kind of like. It just seems like there's a lot of not filler, but it's like it's not necessary.
It's just
there's so much stuff to read.
There's a lot, and there's a lot going on too. And I don't know.
And I don't know. I think I find myself not even like fully paying attention the whole time.
That's
because
how I
so much
felt. I just like, I got to reread this page because this is boring. But I want to know, did anyone pick up what's going on with the masked hologram? Because if you look closely, he pops up. Look above over there,
right?
Like he pops up in various forms all throughout the book. And I didn't know what his significance, although it's only the first book. But I don't know if I care enough to find out.
But that guy, to me, because these guys who are projecting this out there, it reminds me of like an anonymous crew,
or like Mr. Robot.
Right, and they're projecting this out there so that the whole world can see, or the whole city can see what's going on, so they'll pay attention. And this character, this masked hologram, reminds me of the character from that, or what was the V for Vendetta?
Mm-hmm.
Like that face where it's like when you see that, it's like, oh, you're about to be informed about what's happening behind the scenes with your fucked up politicians.
Right. Transmitted by a neckbeard in someone's basement somewhere.
Right.
When this was still like, before this had come out, and this came out in December 2016, the description, because I remember looking forward just because I like the cover, the description was, a soldier returns home finding out that his peacekeeping mission is anything but. And it's funny because in the first couple pages I get that, but the rest of the book is just kind of a clusterfuck. There's so much going on, and I can't keep up with it.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of exactly.
And if it was well written, I think, okay, I got to reread it, get back. It doesn't make me care enough.
No desire to read this again, from me. I didn't like. I mean, I'm interested in what you guys said about all that stuff, but I remember the first time I'm reading. I remember I think I may have fallen asleep like a little bit of the ways through, and I set it down. I had to reread the whole thing again. It really didn't catch my.
First time I read it, I didn't finish it.
Oh, if you're not gonna look at that, that's fine.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, first time I read it, I didn't finish it. I finished reading it this time, and I liked it more, but it's not drawing me back in.
Yeah. So I think that's enough of that. We will you read more, Becky?
No.
Jared?
I don't know. I can't remember reading it.
Okay. That's exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I gave Greg all that shit, but I really can't either. But my memory's fucked, so.
Yeah.
Greg?
I think it's fine. I mean, I don't remember what I read, but I remember being entertained while I was reading it. And it's just, I didn't think that the seemingly unrelated backstory of the guy with the sister or whatever was boring to me. I don't know. It seemed all right. Art's fine. I think it's cool. I'm intrigued.
The one thing that really struck me about this book that actually almost might inspire some real world action. I've been thinking about redoing my apartment, right? So it's super, I feel like I have too much shit now.
Right.
And his sister's apartment is this zen, low tables, no fucking furniture, cushions on, some pillows on the ground to sit on. And it's real clean, and I think maybe that it might inspire some real world action. I might just go ahead and fucking get rid of my couch. It's plaid.
All right.
I used to have a plaid couch, man. When I was 16.
Yeah,
in my room.
You never buy a plaid couch.
Yeah, I didn't buy it.
No. This is my second plaid couch. I mean, technically I paid for it, but I paid like $100.
Does it look
for,
like it
that.
came out of like a 90s music video, like plaid? Like that's what mine looked like, dude.
My first one did too in college. It was fucking gross, dude. And it was like that material that, like, if you move too fast on it, you would get a rug, like a burn. Like,
Yeah,
it was
it's like textured.
yeah, it's fucked.
Or like, but the soft parts of it, if you move your hand one way, it looks like you're writing in it.
yeah.
If you move the other way, it erases it.
But those were only like like there were recesses and it was fucked.
Right.
This one was actually purchased. The person I bought it from purchased it like relatively recently from the point I purchased it. So it was, it's regrettable. it's a fucked up couch.
I was going to say, my theory is, I'm going to posit that no one has ever sold or bought a new plaid couch. Just they made a bunch of them at one point and they couldn't get rid of any of them, so they just gave them to the employees, and the employees gave them to their college age relatives.
Some dude collected them all, started a furniture store. And so this is actually a backlog of 30 years worth of plaid couches. Who the fuck buys a plaid couch?
They've all been sold in a penny saver.
Or the horse trader.
Exactly.
So you'll reread it. You'll read more for the decor.
I might have to check out her apartment for more ideas.
For the design tips.
Yeah, design tips.
Yeah.
So that's what I took away from it, design tips.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah. It wasn't worthless.
I don't plan on reading more of this.
No.
So
I'll probably just go into Dan's store and just finger through it, see if any more apartment shots.
that somehow sounded gross, but I'm not sure how.
Yeah. He did say figured.
Yeah, you can't say that.
Finger through. Yeah, flip through. I'll skim it.
You're not making any debate
Yeah.
any better at all.
I'm going to skim the fingers.
Skim it with my fingers. Skim it till it.
I'm going to do some finger skimming later on.
I'm gonna finger the skimmed material. Oh wait.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
I just thought our next set we can do a watching to doing because I have something to do. And here's
We already
here's
did one.
the last episode.
Okay.
This is a different episode.
You don't do the same segments and
Yeah, but we don't have. I mean, we don't have
Sure.
anything else.
Okay, then.
Unless you guys have anybody.
Wait, I thought we had more books.
Yeah. No, we do. No, this is just the next segment between books.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So here,
Hit
what's doing?
Yo, what chin's doing?
What's doing?
Yo, what chin's doing?
What's doing?
What chin's doing?
I think he just wanted to do that.
Yeah,
I mean, I like it. That's one of the two good ones we got.
that's good. That is a good one.
So I've been reading one of the new Star Wars novels, and it's the title is Thrawn, and it's about Grand Admiral Thrawn. And for those of you who like Star Wars, that's a huge character that everyone from the expanded universe, the old expanded universe, that everyone is kind of like super into, like everybody loves. Because Timothy Zahn wrote this character, and he's probably one of the most interesting bad guys in any book that I've read. To be honest with you, like Thrawn is he's not a character that you hate by any means. He's a character that you understand where he's coming from. All of his decisions make sense. He never does anything that's necessarily even like cruel or mean. He does stuff that just is only for to kind of advance his goal.
Why is he so interesting?
For a bunch of reasons. Because he's the kind of character. He's almost like an Atticus Finch. If Atticus Finch were a villain, where he's never being immoral. Like there's no he doesn't do anything just for he's not like Darth Vader where he'll just like choke out one of his dudes to death.
Yeah,
because he made a mistake. Like he's not that kind of bad guy at all. He's the kind of bad guy where, and because it's a Star Wars thing, you expect the bad guys to be over the top and like ridiculous and do like horrible things like that. Whenever something bad happens and he doesn't respond that way, it's kind of defeating the trope and like subverting the trope. And you're like, oh wow, this guy's actually like a good leader who has the respect of the people who serve underneath him. Like all of his decisions totally make sense, and he usually explains them to his the captain of his ship. But he's really great. It's a very interesting character. Those old books are worth reading just for that character. To be honest, they're not perfect, but that character in those books is fucking great. In this book, they introduced that character in Star Wars Rebels, which is the new the cartoon show that's on right now, and then they just released this book, and it's all like canon within the universe. So all the new stuff that Disney releases is official. So like this, I don't know. This book it's Timothy Zahn who introduced the character, getting to write a whole book about this character that fits within the new timeline and the new story, and it's just really, it's well written. It's great. So I recommend go out and checking it out if you like Star Wars, because I fucking love Star Wars. I feel like they're doing a really good job so far. So
that was addressed to everyone then.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, go check this out. Even if you watch, especially if you watch Star Wars Rebels, because he's in this current third season, he's the bad guy in that season. But this gives you his whole background, and it kind of makes him more relatable, really. Yeah. So, Star Wars stuff. So cosmic scoundrels here. We got this one to go through.
What a turd factory!
Yeah, I did not like this book at all.
Garbage.
Who wants to?
This is dog
I'll
shit.
read it. I'll do it.
Oh, it's dog shit.
Is this a dog shit segment?
Could be.
It's,
Well, if it's gonna be dog shit, the J has to talk about it.
Yep.
Oh.
You're right. It's dog shit.
I didn't say that was dog shit.
Oh, if you don't think it's dog shit, then don't do a dog shit.
He just doesn't want to do it.
Just got me there. I can't. This is another one that I read a while ago, and I can't really remember too much about it.
Okay.
Cosmic Scoundrels, IDW.
And you were telling me earlier, all the benefits of just reading everything all at once, 2 months in advance.
Dude, I was just, yeah, you're right, I was. And now it's backfiring. But it's better than not having read it at all. I planned on reviewing this at some point, but I just didn't. I just didn't feel like when I got here, I was like, fuck it.
sucks.
Yeah, that too.
It does suck.
It's written by Matt Chapman, drawn by Andy Suriano, I think. Everybody else doesn't matter. I think it was about these two dudes, right?
Yeah.
They're best buddies, and they go around the universe just having adventures,
Just fucking shit up.
right?
It sounds like
Just being goofy,
yeah.
and that's it.
It's like the 10-year-old's response to Chrononauts.
Yeah, he's right. And the art is really jarring, but not in an enjoyable or interesting way. It's just annoying.
It's lots and lots of color,
But
there's so much in the background and in the character and in everything that it's all just this blurry mess of.
distracting.
From a distance, you can't make out anything. I mean, everything blends together.
Yeah.
It's like Lisa Frank and Zuba Pants made a comic book. That's it.
Wow, that second one's a hell of a reference. I haven't heard that in a long time.
It's almost what was that show? Firefly? It's almost like they were trying to be like that.
That was the feeling, but goofier and with lots more color, but total failure.
Yeah,
Where they're just traveling around space, kind of just happening on goofy adventures.
Yeah. Stealing things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I
They're
was
good guys, but they're breaking all the rules.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was telling Daniel this earlier before we started recording. I think that whoever wrote this, I think, is at least aware of Douglas Adams, because it's they do pretty much on every page they do a fourth wall break of some kind. Not of some kind, literally, it's a little sentence at the bottom of each page.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Saying here's a little joke that we tucked in here, but the punchline for it is back on page 4 or something. And
that's the thing that Chris Hastings has been doing. Is it Hastings? Or Ryan North does in Squirrel Girl.
yeah,
Ryan North does. Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, it's on every page.
On the bottom of every page, he has it's he does that because in his online comics there was alt text, so every page you could just mouse over and hold it for a second, leave it for a second. It would give you some alt text on the you know how your mouse does that.
Yeah.
I think that was trying to emulate that, but I don't know if they're doing that in imitation of him, because those are the only two comics I can think of that do that.
yeah.
Well, this one's dumb as fuck.
Yeah. It has a thing right at the beginning that says who the characters are.
Yeah.
And the two main idiots is Rochambeau.
Rochambeau, yeah.
Rochambeau, and then the other guy is Love Savage.
Yeah.
Okay, that's stupid. And then Party Steve.
Yeah.
Which
then,
sounds way too much like Pizza Steve, by the way.
That's exactly what I thought of Pete Steve.
Yeah.
And then Carl.
Yeah.
That's the last one. Carl with a K.
I totally missed Carl.
Which
Because
sounds
Carl
like-
isn't really even in the book. He's like at the very end in like this like weird little ad almost. I don't know what it is at the end.
Yeah, it's. I actually kind of like the end thing. I thought it was.
I think Carl's
Where,
just
Party
like
Steve?
no, the Carl thing.
I don't remember the Carl.
He's like
The Carl thing's just at the very end. It's just one page.
Yeah, he's like.
I think what they're trying to
bystander.
do is just interject like this guy is just being like he's like a tourist who just travels around space. Like they have adventures, but he's just like a stupid dick.
Yeah.
That just like just like does nothing.
Yeah, but he somehow is always a bystander or whatever they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like what's the name of the black guy that's on all the Netflix Marvel TV shows? He's the
like,
informant on
Shit,
or
what's
the
his
rat
name?
or whatever.
Yeah,
his
the
name is.
bald guy.
Yeah.
Fuck, what's his name? I
But
forget what his name is.
like that kind of a figure, like, oh, there's that guy again. Oh.
yeah, or even Claire. I mean, Claire's in all the shows too,
Yeah, I guess that's true.
but she's not like a shithead.
Yeah.
right, yeah. I mean, she actually has a function where it's
Yeah.
and like even that informant has a function too because he
True.
is a pivot point on the plot sometimes. It looks like this might be. I don't know. I would be giving too much credit to the creators of Cosmic Scoundrels to think that Carl would have any real function just based on the looks of it for right now. Because
You never know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if. I mean, it's it's possible.
I would be surprised if
I mean, he's there for a reason. So.
maybe I don't know. Like, can you say that everything that you've read on these pages was here for a reason?
No, absolutely not.
I have to. Someone give me my. Yeah, let me take a look at this because it's been a little while since I read this one. Too.
Garbage.
The cover looks cool.
See,
I like the cover.
Yeah.
I like the inside art actually. I thought it was, and in fact, I do kind of agree with the whole Douglas Adams thing because this big green guy, the whatever the lizard people, they are exactly what I remember thinking the Vogons would look like.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Like Hitchhiker's Guide. Yeah, I that is to me what a Vogon looks like. But I like the art style. I think it's pretty cool. It kind of reminds me of I don't even know, like maybe it's halfway between like heavy metal and something else.
I think
guess-
it's too sloppy to be.
Yeah.
I guess like the design of it, like if I were to imagine in my head what this is trying to convey, that would be a design reminiscent of heavy metal. But imagine heavy metal for a second. Wasn't that drawn better than this?
Yeah, I
course it
said
was,
halfway
yes.
between heavy metal and something else.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I don't know, maybe what is it, 2000 AD? Dread, like kind of like that too. I think this, like some of the color, these colors are. These are great. Like this makes me think of like a super just 80s, like kind of low budget, like this the blue and the red. I like both the art and the coloring of these because it's I don't know, it's so fucking kind of rad. Like that. This is fucking cool. That's really cool looking.
It's hard to tell what's even happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, but once you get what's happening, it's like this almost reminds me of like it might be like a painting instead of just like a like a page of a comic book. It's like if I saw this hanging up in like a store somewhere, I'd be like, "What's?" It would take me a second. I'd be like, "Oh, that guy's vomiting like a bunch of blue liquid." Okay, cool. I see. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. Like all the patterns, the way they work against each other.
I just think it could have been done better. Like the thing is, when you draw stuff that's really similar and you color things really similar, it becomes like a texture.
Yeah.
And everything just starts to blend.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't hate this. I didn't think it was great. It was definitely trying too hard at some points, but I didn't hate it. I didn't like the party. Well, shouldn't say that either.
I don't know. Party Steve, I felt like was the only redeeming part of that book. I thought that was like funny when those things were like, we finally killed Party Steve, but all of his partying had like fucked with the time-space continuum. So then it like pans to
it's a
just-
Party Steve party.
Yeah, it's just like a bunch of him who convene because they're all in different parts of the multiverse, whatever,
Yeah.
different dimensions or something.
I don't hate this Carl thing either. I thought it was kind of funny because it's only like 2-3 paragraphs. And then
Yeah.
him just looking like a fucking asshole standing here with the, like I guess in the cafeteria line.
I'm going to confess, I got to that last page, which has more text on it than everything else, and my patience had already worn thin by then. I saw it and just...
Yeah, I didn't read that
I just-
shit.
Yeah, I just read
closed
a
it up.
couple lines of it. I was like,
They're going to name check some other planets and space vehicles and stuff and
Right.
foods that don't really exist, and I don't care.
All right, so let's just move
Agreed.
on. That is just, will you read more? Becky?
No.
Jer?
Nah.
Greg?
No comment. No, I won't. It sucks.
Dan?
If I'm taking a shit in your bathroom and there's nothing else to read, I'll read it.
That's fair.
Otherwise, no.
I don't know. I'm
Because it will be in your bathroom, I can already tell.
yeah. They cycle through there pretty fast, though. So you got to kind of like be aware if you want to really keep up on your bathroom reading in my bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like catching a song you like on the radio.
exactly. Yeah. Which is the thing that like no one is ever concerned about anymore. Which is you know what? It's a shame. Remember back in the day?
It's good and bad.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
kids,
yeah.
you kids don't know what it was like.
Yeah.
Have your finger ready on the record button for your cassette recorder.
Maybe that we should make that a segment. Like, you kids don't appreciate blank. No, it's called These Kids Today.
No,
write
that's
that
true
down.
though.
I'll
Like
write that
it
down.
probably plays into people's like inherent desire to just like sate some urge immediately. What do they call it?
Immediate gratification.
Immediate instant gratification.
Yeah.
You know, and they show that the more able you are to like keep yourself from acting on like immediate gratification, like the happier you become, and like the less you're able to deal with that, the more prone you are to like depression and anxiety and like just a subjective like lower sense of well-being or
Right.
like
So if
life
you're
happiness.
If you're hitting these highs all the time, and then when you finally miss one, it's just like now you're all the way the fuck down here.
Right. Oh, and like you don't get all of the, I don't know, like the benefit from like delaying gratification.
Right.
Things you learn about that.
Patience.
Patience. Right. Patience. Gratitude.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Appreciation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe the radio was good for us.
Yeah.
Maybe it was
The radio and the internet not being fast.
Yeah.
And not. Can you imagine growing up at a time where you couldn't just look up boobs anytime?
Yeah.
Can you imagine how much more special boobs would be?
I can, because I lived in a time like that.
Yeah, but not at a time when like you were an adult where you could like just like we're getting boobs with a distinct possibility when like if you really tried.
No, I think it was even more important for boobs for me back then, because I had no access to real boobs. The only boobs I ever got were boobs in media.
That's fair. Okay.
Like we used to have a club, and we would steal Playboys and hide them in the basement of this abandoned house, and we would all convene to like bring out the Playboys. It was like a ceremony. And at different times, like guys would get to, like you, take it home, you know? And once we even decided that like we should each have our own picture at home.
Right.
So we had like one page from a Playboy at home with those crease lines in it from like being folded and unfolded so much. Yeah, man. So I don't know, maybe that shit was good for us.
Yeah, you might be right. Although, no, I think what I was going for was that we were never adults at that time, or before that. So, like, imagine how much more special real boobs would be if you couldn't just... Because think about how many times you look at boobs, like, a week now. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's a lot, because, you know, if you don't take care of things every day, you start to look sideways at people.
Yeah. Fangs come
like
out.
a crazy person. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Could turn out that wolf howling at the
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's like crazy ideas at the bar.
seriously. So yeah, you know, if presumably a lot of people are like that. So imagine like not being able to just see what like random boobs every day.
Yeah.
I mean, as an adult, though, you could just going back decades, strip bars were always there.
True.
So,
true.
But like,
do we think that strip clubs were creepier back in the day, or are they creepier now?
They're creepier now because you can have access to whatever you want now. And if you really need that.
The clubs, though? Because I feel like back in the day, there'd be like so many more people who were totally repressed because there was no internet. So
fair enough.
People were looking for like weird shit. They could only go to so many places. So they're like,
Yeah.
like, hey, you want to dance for me and also do some foot stuff?
There might be less.
That's a really good point.
And there's probably, I feel like with the open lines of communication, there's probably less of a stigma to it now. Also,
You're
strip
right.
clubs?
Right.
yeah, it's strip clubs and
Oh,
just
absolutely.
sex-oriented stuff in general too.
yeah, because back, I think probably when our parents were having their bachelorette parties. Maybe the bachelor parties, it would be like, oh, the boys are going to go out to a strip club and but like bachelorettes, like going out to a strip club, I don't think that was a thing. Like up until like relatively
In the 90s,
more
I think,
recently,
Yeah.
like when Tila Tequila had her own TV show and she was a porn star, and then all of a sudden it was like chicks can go to chick strip clubs and it's okay for them to like admit to being slightly turned on by it, you know? And
Yeah.
yeah, man, I don't know
Yeah, I'm not sure which one I think it's
which
more.
is weirder. Yeah. Because you don't hear about a lot of like or at least in Pittsburgh.
Right.
Like a lot of themed strip clubs. It's not like there's like the Foot strip club and like the
Is that a thing other places?
I didn't know
I don't
there were
know, man. I don't know. That's
I
what I'm
don't think
saying.
so.
You
There's
don't-
just, I mean, there's munches and kink parties where people who are just like into stuff get together and find, all right, who's into feet, who's into bondage, you go over there. But like
Yeah.
in strip clubs, it's like a business where they have to be very careful about what they do, especially in the United States.
Yeah.
So-
But I mean even just having like theme stuff. You know, like we're not gonna do any like BDSM, but like we're gonna dress like we do, and we're gonna have props like we are.
You know, like pony playing weird, crazy. That is the loudest squirrel.
Yeah, dude. There's some big ass squirrels.
He
out
just
there.
threw his headphones off. He's headed out the door. He's going
Wait,
to
did
get
you
him
lock
a
it because of the
squirrel.
squirrel?
No, I was just closing the door because bugs were getting in.
Oh, okay.
That's a
sorry.
black squirrel.
Yeah, that's a huge.
Yeah, there's a
and it's
bunch of-
loud.
So
Gotta
the
watch out
squirrel's
for those.
louder because he's black. I see. Okay. That's cool. Thanks, guys.
Well, you just got up and locked the door because you saw a black squirrel.
Nice. Well done.
Oh
Jer.
god! Oh god!
Fair enough.
Oh my god.
For some reason, I just tried to think of like how to say a really like racist thing against squirrels, but like, only against black squirrels. But I'm not going to go down that road at all.
No, unless it was right there. Unless it was right there.
Yeah, it didn't come to. Yeah, I'm not going to think about it too hard. It's ridiculous.
Fuck Cosmic Scoundrels. What else are we reading?
Animal Noir is right
I
here.
like that one.
Oh yeah.
I like Animal Noir.
So, who wants to do? I haven't done one yet.
Yeah, you-
I'll do this one. So,
I'm gonna get an ice pack.
okay. Animal Noir. Jurin and Lunacek. Animal Noir. So, these are Lunacek and Nejik Jurin. Art by Lunacek. Editor, all the other people. So, this book it kind of looks like a newspaper comic strip. It starts with a train. It's a train or it's like a kind of convoy. It's not okay. It's not a train.
No, it's a truck.
It's a truck. So it's a truck that's delivering these. Well, actually, we don't know initially, but then it cuts to a gang of there's a gang of apes and a gang of like cheetah people, and if I recall correctly, oh yeah, so the truck is delivering these quote unquote tapes to the gang of cheetah people, and the tapes are missing, and so
And there's snuff films, like
Yeah, there's-
specifically.
there's not films
controversial.
because in this world, I should probably mention there are no people.
They're
They're all
animals.
animals. They're all anthropomorphic animals. So, we find out through this giraffe detective that the tapes that have been misplaced are videos of like actual like kills out in the wild because apparently that's illegal now. Like animals don't eat each other, so they're all forced into being vegetarians or eating some kind of synthetic meat or something. And so, it's this giraffe detective giraffe private eye trying to figure out the mystery behind these stolen snuff film tapes. And it's pretty, it's like the opposite side of the coin from The Dam that we just read, kind of, where it's
Yeah.
the same thing. It's like a noir. It's the same thing, only it's kind of goofy because it's animals. And this is kind of more political commentary. In the back of this book, there's a. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't read this whole article because it's so fucking long.
It's long and it's really tiny font.
Yeah, there's a really long fake magazine article about stuff that had happened in this same animal world, and it's like a civil rights commentary, but it's just like it's so much. It's ridiculous. But I don't know. I enjoyed it. it was like a fun read. I like the a lot of the. It kind of does the same things that what it was not the book we just read. Something we watched. Oh no, I was talking to Chris about BoJack Horseman. It's
similar,
like
it's
in some
almost
ways,
a similar art style, actually.
right? And just the same way that like some of the animals like they're doing. This is like stupid puns, like visual puns as far as like what the animals are doing, like what depending on what kind of animal it is. Like the hippo has like his house is fills with water because he's a fucking hippo.
His son's like mentally disabled, right?
Yeah.
Obviously. Okay.
Yeah. I wasn't laughing about that, but
No, I didn't think you were. I was just like, I wanted to make sure because I wasn't totally clear on that, or if maybe something had happened to him. Or...
I'm not sure if but he certainly has some kind of problem.
Yeah.
But it's
And the monkeys were monkeying around, and
Yeah.
the cheetahs are cheaters, or like guys who are like, it's I don't know.
Very literal
the
world.
giraffes are like
Tall.
whatever. He's kind of like
he's always like
his
sticking his
neck
nose
out.
into yeah.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was like a fun read.
Yeah. I don't have a lot to say about it, but
Well,
I enjoyed it.
It's a short book. There's nothing. It's not really a deep story. It's just kind of a fun, different thing.
I wish that I wanted to read the bit at the back some more because it's pretty. As far as they put a lot of effort into this fucking article, it seems totally legit. Like it's boring in the way that a real newspaper article is boring.
Yeah.
Which can't be easy to write like that. Like you're like totally making up something in a fake world. Like, but for whatever reason, like this is, and there's like pictures to like with captions in them and stuff. It's just really, oh man, it's something else. It's written really well, but like I just read the sentence. Terrence was running a gang of 15 or so zebra classmates who were dealing drugs and extorting other kids. Like that's a normal thing to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I liked it. Other comments?
I liked it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there's not a whole lot to say about this book.
Yeah.
It was a cute noir
Cute noir.
piece with animals as humans.
Yeah.
Like,
Will you read more?
I will.
No, it really wasn't for me.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on it, but I don't know. Now that hearing you guys talk about it, I'm kind of seeing the bright side of it a little bit. You might have swayed me to take another look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I'd read the next one.
Okay. I'll read the next one. I thought the story was fine, and I'll really unless it gets a lot better, I might not read any more than that. But like,
Yeah.
I'll give the next one at least a shot.
That's what I'm planning on
The
doing.
developmentally disabled hippo is what really
I
kinda
clinched
made me
it for
decide.
you.
I really love that character. It was really adorable.
Well, it just exemplifies that there are disabled and mentally challenged people in the animal world as well.
And the character didn't quite go full retard.
Nope, he did not.
Right.
Because he never do
So,
that.
and that kind of just like stands by the fact that like somebody has some like fucked up pet that does stupid shit. It's like, yo, dude, your dog might actually have a developmental disability.
Right.
Like, it fucking bites me like every 8th time I see it. Like, and he's always trying to like attack pillows. Like, this dog is there's something wrong with your dog. Oh no, man. It's like, no, actually, see, look, hippos, they can be developmentally disabled. Your dog, probably developmentally disabled.
I wonder if dogs that don't chase their tails quietly judge other dogs who do.
They just see it and like acknowledge it, like,
But we don't say anything
yeah,
because that's not cool.
yeah.
My dogs have never done that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's everything we've got
Yeah.
for this
Yeah.
episode. So you can find us at grownuphumans.com, epicastnetwork.com/grownuphumans, iTunes, Stitcher, Facebook, YouTube at Grownup Human Comic People, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram at Grownup Humans. As soon as you're done listening to this, go online, rate and review this podcast. We will say whatever you fucking want us to say.
It's true.
I promise. So go do it right now. Do it right now.
Yeah, you want to be heard? It's your chance.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is yeah.
Fucker.
Yeah, if you feel bad about sitting in your cubicle all day and you want somebody to hear your fucking voice, This is
Yeah, if you just want to badmouth your boss, like,
Yeah.
We'll say it, and you don't have to say it. You can even tell us not to say your name. We'll say your boss's first and last name and tell that person to fuck right off.
Yeah. We'll give out their email.
Yep.
Their phone number.
Oh yeah, I don't give a fuck.
I don't think any of us do.
Because what we'll do is we'll say you shouldn't please do not contact this person with anything for any reason. And then we'll give out the email address.
And don't contact them at their email, which is, or on their personal cell phone,
Correct.
which is.
Yeah.
And they'll have 12 people calling them at least once. Remember that annoying weekend when I got those 12 prank phone calls? Yeah, that was weird.
I still don't know who did that.
I think it was Jim. Probably.
Might have been, yeah. Seems like kind of a dick.
That kidder.
All right, so go around the table. Everybody say goodbye. Becky,
Bye.
Jer,
see ya.
Greg,
Till next time.
dude.
All right, guys. That's goodbye. All right. All right.
Yeah, you. There've been 2 episodes you haven't said your key.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pancakes.
I can't. No, I'm not a one-trick pony. I gotta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Fair enough.
I apologize for calling you on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm Jared. We'll see you later. Thanks for listening. Go rate and review right now.
Warmest regards.
Best of luck.
Human comic people.